How you doing? Welcome to a really early AMA.
Yeah,
So we are
definitely.
here. And by the way, this was my idea. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Standard Time. I'm gonna
Saying,
tell. I'm gonna tell a
yeah,
story on Zach. Zach was out having beers last night, so Zach's a little hungover.
I am. Well, I'm okay. I mean, but
You're getting
yeah,
there. You're getting
yeah,
there.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
foggy, a little
A little
foggy start.
foggy. I was up till this is the difference in our lives. I was up till 1:30 watching Walking Dead on Netflix, and Zach was out, because he's single and doing his thing. So there you go.
Honestly, I don't go out much, so when I do, I'm like not worth anything the next day.
Next day, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're like, when am I out of here so I can go eat a burger or Mexican food or something, right?
Yeah.
So we want to thank you guys for giving us a little bit of your time. Obviously, this is a Tsuka AMA. We are awaiting some of the Tsuka community team leaders, team members, and they're going to come join us here shortly. So, before that, we'll talk a little bit about Tsuka, but quite frankly, cards on the table, we kind of want to save that for the Tsuka team members themselves because we want you guys to hear it from them, kind of in what they've got going on. And I will say up front, and I know you are, Zach, I am amazed at this community and some of the differences. There's a great comment I wanted to show real quickly. Let me show this. So I love this. Dane dropped this in. So I want to read this too. So Zach, check this out, which we already knew, but I love this. Tsuka tokenomics are perfect. No dev wallet, no pre-sale, 100% community owned, no tax, low supply, all tokens in circulation, and contract renounced. I mean, and I would add no dev wallet, but no dev, right? And that I would add that. So kind of what's your 2 cents on that, Zach?
It's very similar to all the great community tokens, right? It's a community effort. Community is the utility right now. And like SHIB, the community drove them to a multi-billion-dollar market cap. And then they decided to come out with, of course, Shibarium, the metaverse. So it's interesting because they're ranked number 287. I actually sent you a link, Austin.
Yeah, I've got it. Let me show
the chat there.
Yep.
And if they were actually on that list, which they're not, but they're ranked 287, you could see that right there.
Yeah. So the list that Zach's talking about, if you go over to CoinMarketCap and you go to categories and you go to, where is it at? I know it's here. And of course, you can't find it when did I pass it? You go to me.
No, but if you use that link that I sent you in the private, that'll take you.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. Here we go. So
they're actually ranked 287. So they actually, if they were on this list, and we actually talked to the community members, some of the top community members about this, and they don't really care that they're not on this list. They're okay with it, but they probably should be because they are a meme / community token. And if you put them on here, I mean, they're right in there with some of the top memes. I mean, you've got 3 in the top 100 there: Dogecoin, SHIB, and now Bone, which recently just got in there. Dogelon Mars has been in the top 100 before. Then you got Floki, Baby Doge, and then you've got Tsuka right there sandwiched in between Baby Doge and Volt in terms of market cap.
Yeah, and Tsuka's market cap right now is 94. It's moved down in the last 4 or 5 days, obviously because of all of crypto moving down, right? But I mean, their market capitalization puts them ahead of Volt. I
like it because it's a solidified community token.
Yeah.
Right. It's solidified in that it's been around since May of last year, which is a really hard time to launch. I mean, considering where they are now, I mean, imagine launching right after the Terra Luna debacle and then having to deal with the FTX debacle later that year. Right. I mean,
so sorry about that. Crump. Yes, I did. So we have sent them invite links to the team members in Telegram. So somebody needs to message to them. We have. So just FYI. Sorry about that, Zach. I wanted to get that out there. So about that.
Yeah. Here, I'll bounce in there.
Bounce into the Telegram, our Telegram with them and just say, hey, we're live. Come on, let's go. So I apologize, man. You were saying something. I'm sorry. What were you saying about? The launch in May? Yeah.
It was a very difficult time to launch, right? I mean, anytime last year was difficult to launch a project, and the fact that they've grown this big in such a short amount of time, that's what I liked about it. Well, one of the things I liked about it, that they're solidified and their community's super positive. There are some connections between Ryoshi, the SHIB founder. There's an interesting video that I attached to the first video I made. I think you did as well. There's like a 15-minute video that kind of goes into the blockchain and talks about potentially the connections there between the founder of SHIB, which is interesting because the founder of SHIB left SHIB 4 days after Tsuka launched.
Right.
Which is interesting. And then there's some connections on the blockchain that maybe Ryoshi is actually behind this. And whoever's behind it did a fantastic job because they grew this thing organically to over $100 million market cap in a very short amount of time in a bear market.
I agree. So whomever's from the team here, I did send links to join earlier. I've resent it in Elements in our Telegram. So yeah, and I verified it's the link for them to be able to get onto the stream. So yeah,
just double checked it too. Yeah, it's in the
so it's there. So yeah, we'll keep going. When we were talking with the community team members and talking about working together and all that, I love that they were. So back to that May launch, right? And they went into what I thought was fantastic was to talk to some of the key individuals who've been with Tsuka kind of from the beginning, and they were like, literally, I can't remember which one who said it, but they were like, when we launched, we became a haven when people got, people got wrecked, right? And not in Tsuka, but in the crypto market. And so they came to Tsuka, some of them with their last few Ethereum and put it into Tsuka. I'm quoting like a hope and a prayer that Tsuka is going to do something significant, but more importantly, not even really about the price of the token, Zach. It was more about the community that grew up around that with their meditations and this highly positive communal aspect. That's one of the things I loved about it.
Yeah. And by the way, Tubba's going to be joining us in a little bit. So just got a message back there in the Telegram. So that's good stuff. Yes, we did send it to the right Telegram. Somebody's in the chat asking. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the community token list that we just had up there, I mean, Floki's had a great start to the year. We know Volt has done some great things. Tsuka's kind of under the radar because it's not on that list. But man, I mean, when you go to $100 million market cap in that type of market, a little over 11,000 holders too. So it's very interesting. And I like that basically they're at this point now where they're just growing that community, and eventually, they're going to let the community kind of drive what's next. So what's up?
We made it. Wow.
What's going on, man?
Oh my God. We were stuck in, I got my hand on the glass. I'm just going, help. I don't know. We couldn't find the link.
Oh yeah, man, it was in the Telegram, buddy. Yeah, so I sent it there this morning, but that's cool. I'm glad you're here, brother. Your community was like, the guys can't get in. I'm like, I sent the link.
We had a slash tag fight. They were like, go into the link. We're like, we can't find it. We're here. We made it.
So Russ, is it? I mean, I see your title, Russ, right?
PR Russ, yes.
Russ, yeah. Excellent. Well, man, welcome, and it's actually great to meet you. Oh, here we go. You guys got some fantastic names. Right. Uncle Nut.
There we go.
Dude, we're out of YouTube jail. I mean, what the hell?
Oh my God.
There you go. Well, welcome. Uncle Nut.
Guys.
I gotta, Zach, I gotta come up with a better screen name, Austin. I know,
man.
Austin, man, please, get creative here.
Yeah,
right.
Old guy, nap man. Okay. So, y'all hear me? Can we get the screen froze? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we good?
Yeah, we're good.
We good?
It's good now, yeah.
All right. Shoot, I'm sitting on a big internet connection. Okay, so you guys, I don't know, Russ, Uncle Nut. I'm going to call you Uncle, okay? All right.
Very good.
So we've been talking a little bit about kind of like the beginning. So if from y'all's perspective, I don't know how much y'all were able to hear. We talked about kind of when y'all started in May, and when we were talking with some of the other guys, when we were talking about working together and talking about, how Tsuka became kind of the safe haven, the meditations and the communal aspect. So why don't one of you guys take that, kind of run with that proverbial ball, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. No,
Russ, yeah, sure. Listen, yeah, sure. Well, firstly, thanks, guys, for having us on the show, and we apologize for being late. We're in YouTube jail, obviously. I'm Uncle Nut. Basically, on the 26th of May, 2022, a mysterious dev in the middle of probably the worst possible time, middle of the bed, decides to stealth launch on Uniswap with a $3,000 liquidity. No warning, no promotion. The community started to explore into the token. They saw that the dev was communicating via the blockchain. He was sending messages via the ETH network. For a few days, the community didn't have much time to understand who the dev was, what this was all about. However, there was a couple of really massive hints. Ryoshi changed his PFP for Milarepa after Tsuka was launched with references to Milarepa. 4 days after the launch of Tsuka, Ryoshi, had become completely disgruntled. He deleted all of his Medium articles, his tweets to do with the SHIB. Before he leaves, wow, he changes his profile picture to Milarepa. That was clearly the biggest hint that this was Ryoshi's project. So you keep going down the rabbit hole. There's a whole myriad, and we don't really have time to get into all the details, but there's a whole myriad of messages that make it 99.9% clear that Ryoshi is the dev behind our project. He said that he would have two projects, only two projects. This is the finale. There are messages on the blockchain to prove that this is his finale. If you look at what does Tsuka mean, for example, it's a cipher for Sangha Haruka. Now, take the TS in the first word and the UKA in the last, you've got Tsuka. That completely and absolutely definitively proves that the PFP going up, the cipher are completely linked. There's no way you cannot argue that that was a coincidence.
And you guys, I actually saw you guys were talking about it before. Did you have either of you been in the community or done any of the research or watched the documentary or anything like that?
Yes, watched the documentary, done some research. Yes, so but Uncle's definitely filling in some additional points. And by the way, I've got links to all things kind of Tsuka below for you guys. So there is a link to the documentary. There's a link to the Tsuka website, Linktree, all that. So down in the description below.
So basically, Dijitsu Tsuka means, Dijitsu in Japanese means digital, currency. And then you've got Tsuka, handle of the sword, rite of passage. So all these things are referenced. So Tsuka has been built by Ryoshi to save DeFi. The smart contract that he created ensures that there is a substrate that our whole entire community can basically build itself upon his visions. And those visions are clearly marked in all his messages on the blockchain. So what you have with Tsuka is a perfect community token. You have Web3 decentralized vision of what we all sort of got into Bitcoin with was Satoshi's vision of decentralizing everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, I was just going to say, I love the community aspect because it's brought so many people into crypto. Like that's the thing that I think is so special about SHIB and Doge and Tsuka and all the top community tokens, that it brings so many people in. It's kind of a gateway into crypto, and it's a path of least resistance, if you will. And then people kind of get in and they understand everything else that's going on. And we saw that with SHIB, and it seems like this is kind of what's unfolding here with Tsuka, because you said it there at the top. I mean, in May, what a terrible time to actually launch a project.
Terrible.
Right? I mean, it was brutal with Terra Luna, and then later that year we had the X debacle. But aside from all that, still over $100 million market cap. I mean, that's
it's insane.
It's
absolutely insane.
Our largest pumps were when Bitcoin was pretty much tanking. I mean, when it was in a free fall, like if you pull up our chart, I mean, it's pretty clear that
I've got it right here.
It's performed well. If you lay it over Bitcoin, it's staggering. It's just a very clear indication when when we're not really moving, we're just following the market. When we're moving, the market doesn't matter to us. And Tsuka kind of just goes on its own. And it's only because, I mean, all of these large runs are when the people started exploring the token. Yeah. And that's why we get these big waves, these big pulses of influx of holders. Like, I think we passed 10,000 holders like a speed bump. Boom, went right by it.
Yeah.
And it's because the community is infectious. And it's so funny. It's such a big trap, the whole Ryoshi thing, because he's like a date agent. All right. Because we love Shiba. We're realistically not trying to do anything that Shiba didn't set out to do to begin with. I mean, were either of you big holders in Shiba?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So memes were me personally, I got to learn really advanced financial concepts through dog terms. It's kid gloves. It's, you know, with I mean, obviously Shibarium is going to be another example of that, but using bone to, you know, bury, and then you're digging. And that was really one of my first introductions to a lot of this stuff. When you realize you're teaching people advanced financial instruments with dog, it's the way to get people in, just like you said. And then when they're there, they can, you know, explore, move on, understand, and learn. That's why this stuff's really important. So the memes are a great way to take people in. And Sheeb did something that changed everything. And
well, it was looking back, it was revolutionary, right? And everybody copied it and tried, you know, the next Inu, and we went through those waves. And that's actually not my point. My point is this: is that the vast majority of people do not remember that when SHIB launched, there was no utility. Let's, you know, air quotes intended, right? And it was the communal aspect. It was, let's create this fantastic community, a la community, which I've never been a huge fan of the word meme. I'm on record as that. I don't like that term. I think it's community. I wish that they would rebrand it community, because that's what it is.
It is.
That's a whole different thing. Yeah. But I think that I want to talk about that the community is the utility. That's really what I want to get out on the and that's what just kind of slapped me in the face, covering SHIB every single day for almost 2 years. In that most people don't remember, you know, back in the day, you know, Shiba Inu was communal. It was a community. The utility came later. And that was one of the first questions I asked, you know, like Tubba and those guys, is like, I said, what's your utility?
Right.
Because that's what you do, right?
And it's our biggest asset. Because, okay, to be fair, the over and above me personally, everybody in Tsuka, all the voices that you guys hear coming around, we're like the traveling band. We're just members of the Sangha that love this stuff and really want to tell people about what we found. But we understand that value is attributed differently than a lot of people see it. And it's fundamentals that really keep things together. You can have a really great idea. Utility starts out as an idea, right? You have a great idea, but you know, there's a lot of great ideas. You know, that's the best thing about being creative people. But what matters is what you're able to come together as a cohesive group and accomplish. And that is the community. That's what you need. So like when you do have these good ideas that come into play, we have a platform to which to launch these boats into the water and allow them to do their thing in the ocean. We've taken care of the hard part first. And you can test that by saying any utility that has done well also has the community behind it, also has the strength in the community, also has that solid foundation. And to start with that is merely to take care of the hard part first. And that's why community first is what Tsuka is, you know?
I think the interesting thing here, guys, is that if you look at the smart contract and you understand what Ryoshi has actually created here, he actually set the stage for our community to discover the token, to get into the token. Let me explain. 1 billion tokens fully distributed, fair launch. Everybody had to pay for their token. No seed investors, no VCs. So there's no one to dump massively discounted tokens, you know, over time, regularly over the retail. So fully distributed, fair launch. Normally there's team tokens. We don't have any team tokens.
Right.
People like Tubba and other members of the community are donating time, money, efforts, contacts to grow our community and grow our token. We're building brand equity. So, we've got organic growth, no team, no marketing tokens. Everything is purely funded by the community's own time, resources. And what's crazy is that as our user base and wallets grow each week, we have more and more talent, more and more resources, i.e. utility, coming into the Sangha, which really is the building blocks to build more brand equity and more value. And as we continue to build brand equity, we attract deals. So everything, just like SHIB, everything emanates from that pure, beautiful contract.
It's funny. By the way, Tubba, welcome. Well, thanks for joining, man.
Tubba, LFG.
Love that guy. God, I love that guy.
I got to get a better screen name. Tubba. I got to take my game to the next level, man. So Zach, this reminds me in a way of back in the day when we were started covering SHIB. And one of the things we really talked about and we talked about early was brand equity, was the global proliferation of the SHIB brand. Right. And I think that's so kind of Uncle, that's kind of because right now what you have is grassroots, and yes. I'm not minimizing that with that term, but you have this really only the people in the know about Tsuka, right? I mean, at 11,000 holders, just shy now of $100 million market cap. I mean, that market cap
haven't reached mainstream. Crazy. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you haven't reached mainstream, and I know that this was kind of the next step with talking to getting guys like myself and Zach and Pop and to help you and things like that, which it's truly an honor to do so. But the next step is going, because I was there, Zach and I were there, y'all were there too. You saw it. If we're drawing parallels to SHIB, it's when you start to get media coverage, just weekly, and what really triggered it for SHIB was when an article came out and was talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then, oh, by the way, they mentioned SHIB. Right. Oh, yeah. And that was, so I think that's kind of that's one step in the lineage of kind of that mass adoption, which will come over time. So would y'all want to add anything to that?
You mean just that the media coverage is signaling that we're kind of being massively adopted? Is that what you mean?
It's
the tides are turning for Tsuka.
Yeah, well, it's part of the stepping stone of continuing to build the brand, right? It's
Austin, if I could add to what you're saying, Tsuka has not experienced a bull market yet.
Oh yeah,
correct.
That's really what we're saying here.
100%. Zach, you hit the nail on the head. The difference between SHIB when it launched and Tsuka when it launched was the polar opposite. One was launched in the bull market. One was launched in the depths of despair in a bear market, right? So where we are on the timeline, and you're hitting it right on the head, Austin, absolutely. When you said, we're at the beginning, that we're starting to get more and more media attention, slowly but surely. More influencers are coming on board. More people are seeing the vision. More people are drawing the analogy. They're seeing the association and how this could be Ryoshi. And so people in the know, they already know. Those that are just learning are picking up on the breadcrumbs and they're discovering. But we haven't touched anything yet. That's why we continually tell people we educate people in our community by saying, hey, look, guys, we are so damn early.
We actually haven't had one major catalyst hit yet. And the interesting thing is that you've had the market, which is really like the gravitational pull of what you're, the underlying market foundation that you're sitting on, has been just plummeting. Yeah. And for us to have, continued to rise, to have some good consolidation, we're on 150-day consolidation that we just broke out from. The market's obviously pulled back a little bit, so it's holding above water there. But it's this is, people look at SHIB, people love Shiba Inu, the token. People love it. It's a great thing, but they're starting to realize, because they're understanding crypto better and they're understanding the finance of it all. And why do you want to get into Shiba at 200 times the price of where Tsuka is now? And if you can get all of the things that Shiba Inu has, that Doge has, without the ability for them to mint an unlimited amount of tokens and savage your position or do something that, I mean, you know, I personally, you know, I like the concept behind you need some utility, but you know, if utility kept us safe, a lot of us would be in a vastly different space. It's not.
You know, Russ, I think you bring up a good point. I think the word utility is certainly bantered about. You know, you have this project, you have to do something, right? I mean, you know, what world financial problem are you going to solve? I'm going to invent a game. Right. I mean, I'm not minimizing that, but I'm simply saying that's what the crypto market has been taught to expect. There you go. There you go. It's the stick. We've been taught to expect it. One of the questions I first asked Tubba and those guys, like, what's your utility? I mean, I knew the communal aspect, but they're like, utilities are community. We're going to grow that.
What Nut says with the tokenomics being so important, to have a token that not a lot of people understand what it's like to have a coin where you're on an even playing field with the largest holders. There's not one person has gotten into a position with any advancement on another person other than stumbling on it sooner. It's the only fair launch token that is 100% community driven, that does not have there's no like Moab wallets that you're dealing with that Sheeb had. I think that guy put $100 in. He had $1 billion at one point in one wallet. The distribution of Tsuka can't allow those things to happen. We're already, I think for every metric still, the top 10 holders, top 20, top 50, top 100, we have the lowest percentage of supply being held by these holders. So it's a fair launch just to start off.
Yeah, great point, Russ. I mean, look, let's take it another step. We have the biggest holder on our chat right now, Tubba, and Tubba has 3.68% of the total distributed token. Now, there's nothing, as Russ is saying, that's absolutely nothing. It's around just under $4 million worth of in dollars terms. But let me tell you this: if someone wants to try and take out Tubba's position from scratch, that ain't going to be easy. And one thing that will happen because of the tokenomics, this will be one of our craziest moments in time, and it will happen. Someone will want to come in there and take that position, and we only have 1.1% of the entire distributed token available for sale on Uniswap, the exchanges. So can you imagine what a parabolic move is going to happen if someone says, well, I agree with these guys. This is an amazing token. I'm going to go and whack $4 million in there. Well, number one, he ain't going to end up the number one holder trying to get $4 million to do what Tubba's done now. The market's going to run. It's going to be
if he does that, I'll keep buying more anyway.
Keep going up.
I love it. I love it. LFG.
Tubba, tell us kind of what drew you into Tsuka, man.
Great question.
Yeah, I think there are three kind of key selling points. I think the Ryoshi law aspect is just huge, and ample evidence that this is Ryoshi's finale token. But the two key things really for me were the tokenomics, which are unparalleled, and stress test that a lot by getting a third-party audit of the code to check that there were no errors in it, and then a legal opinion to be able to go to all of the sexes for listing. So that all checked out. So from third-party audit, not linked to anyone involved in Tsuka, the tokenomics were unrivaled and perfect. And then the final thing, which I think is the ultimate selling point, even more so than Ryoshi and the tokenomics, is the community. I've never experienced anything like the
100%.
main Telegram. It's just full of constant support. We've been through lots of tests. It's been what a terrible time to launch a token, May 2022. A disastrous 9 months since then, and yet the spirits in the Telegram group have always been kept high. The community kind of effort, what they do in the operations chat to produce all of this material every week, to monitor the Telegram for like all of the bots that come in, to keep it clean, to keep it positive, it's and people giving up their time to do this all free of charge. People contributing to a multi-sig wallet, which we hope in the future can be used as a platform to almost advertise that we did this with community funded tokens. We're going to be listed on every SEX by the end of the year, and that will be funded solely by the community. Like no coin is ever going to be able to say that in the past, and they're going like, how the hell did these guys do it? And they did it from nothing, and just in a community of like-minded folks. So yeah, it just feels so great to be part of such a positive movement.
Utility of cooperation, if you will.
Ooh, I'm stealing that. Oh, I'm stealing that. Russ, I'm got to write that down. Hold on. Say that again. Utility.
Utility of cooperation.
Oh, I'm just.
Yeah. The coolest thing here is that we're building a trustworthy brand together. And this is a journey we're all on together. So even if you have 0 Tsuka and you're part of our community, you can feel the vibe, as Tubba said. If you've got 1 Tsuka, you got 10 Tsuka, you got 1 million Tsuka, it doesn't matter. Come in there and help us build the biggest Web3 community, decentralized community that can really move mountains and do stuff together. And when we talk about like this utility, and we talk about the back operations group and so forth, anyone in our community that stands up in the main chat or wants to add value or does something, they'll get bought into that chat.
Yeah.
And, we've got things like, Mr. James bought us, this is once again goes back to connections and the community value. Mr. James, one of our Steam, members, he's bought us the opportunity to audition on the next crypto gem, which is going to be an absolutely shockingly huge, probably one of the biggest mainstream movements of crypto into mainstream. You're talking about the producers behind it are touting up to 300 million households. I mean, this is insane. If we actually make the final 4 or the final 2 or 3 or whatever it is, I mean, Tsuka is going to explode. It's going to be a parabolic movement just on the back of that. These are from community. This is from community.
So I want to show this real quickly. This was a good one. So Ramey's asking, how do we purchase this? So it's a great question, Ramey. So here, let me show you real quickly. If you go over to Tsuka's listing on CMC on CoinMarketCap, if you go to markets, it's right here, but I'll show you. This is kind of cool. Gate.io, obviously Uniswap, so you can get it on the centralized exchange or the CEX side, the DEX side, either way. So you currently, obviously, Gate.io, BitGet, Mexi, CoinTiger, Bitforex, and then obviously decentralized. And so, Ramey, there you go. So thanks for the question, man. So, kind of like, I guess, Tubba, whoever wants to take the question, like we've talked about communal, right? And I think we've really covered that. So thank you for that. I think that gives a lot of people some really good insight. So kind of and Uncle, you mentioned crypto gems, but what's next, or what are you guys, is it just continue building the community? Kind of what are y'all looking at?
I'll take that to start with. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting point that we've everyone that's been involved in Tsuka for such up to 9 months, and for me around 6 months. I think you kind of think that everyone knows about Tsuka because you live it every day. It's such an enjoyable movement to be part of. But we're still very small on the reach side. We've got 11,000 users, including the centralized exchanges. We might have as much as 15,000 unique users at the moment, but we know that's still tiny, compared to the wider market that we can access. And a lot of the organic natural press that we are getting has been a huge bonus. It took us a long time for CoinMarketCap to actually list us as an actual meme coin. We can debate whether we are a meme coin or we're a lot better than that anyway. And we were listed in their hottest coins to watch last week. That was so we're getting a lot of extra organic press. But we still know that we're still very small. We're trying to increase our reach. We'd love to, speak to some of the Shiba Inu kind of OGs and talk to them about what we're doing. Tsuka's very open to, spreading the word without prejudice. On my side, some of the other things that we're up to, we can't talk much about the crypto gem project, but that is, really, really exciting. We are looking to do so many AMAs. Shout out to CryptoPunk24 for his excellent organization of our weekly schedule, and so my two fellow speakers on here I know are doing a lot of work on the circuit.
He's got us on the wheel. AP keeps us on the wheel. He goes, "Where are you, Phil? Where are you?"
Welcome to my world, Russ. Welcome. You're on the wheel every day, man. On
the wheel. politely decline quite a lot of the speaking events, but I suppose one thing that I'm really concentrating on is how we get listed on the centralized exchanges. So we know that to be listed on a centralized exchange, because it's a lot easier for some of these other coins that have a huge dev wallet, because they can just go to these guys and say, okay, here you go, I'll give you 1 or 2% of the tokens.
Yep.
It's in the centralized exchange's interest to list the token because they now hold the token and they want to pump the price as much as possible, but they also want to dump the price as quickly as possible when it reaches their target. There are no spare Tsuka tokens. I'm not going to give up my tokens to be listed on the site, so we have to pay a listing fee in stablecoin, and if they want to have a holding of Tsuka, they can buy it off the market, and that's expensive. So it means that the negotiations are a lot longer with these centralized exchanges, because they've never seen anything like Tsuka before. They're mind blown by it. They're like, okay, give me 3 million tokens or give me 50 million tokens, and that's just not going to happen. So it means that we're kind of like coiled up, I think, and ready to spring, because all of these exchanges are getting more and more positive with how they list us. The first major one to list us was Mexi. They got in very early and market bought. In November, Gate.io was our first major SEX to list us. That's been live for 3 months, been going fantastically. And we are actively speaking to 3 tier 1 centralized exchanges that I expect to go live in the next 3 months, with the first one in the next 1 month.
But
Tubbo, that's really exciting.
I'm glad you talked about the big centralized exchange scenario. Most people, Zach and I are aware of this because we've seen this. We've seen projects, we've talked to projects, and we've known some big projects that are working to get listed on big, it's a pay to get in. You got to pay us, you got to give us a certain amount of your tokens. And I think that the vast majority of the retail public out there do not know that that's what you have to do.
The other side of it too, Austin, is volume. But I mean, Tsuka kind of checks those boxes in terms of daily volume, right? Because that's the other big one that they look at, how much volume's coming through. And I mean, you look at it, I mean, just on Uniswap alone in the last 24 hours, over 1.5 million in volume.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a downturn in the market. I want to keep saying that. I mean, when this thing really heats up, because Tsuka has not experienced a bull run yet. I mean, this is, I mean, call it a bear market, call it whatever this is right now. It feels like we're kind of in no man's land, but we're not in a bull run, right?
And the third thing they ask for, so they want cold hard cash to list and tokens. We're not giving them tokens. They want volume. There's always volume with Tsuka. It's such an active coin. People are always getting involved in it. We're always over $1 million of turnover each day. Typically, often we do over $5 million a day, which is kind of unheard of for a token like ours. And the third thing they want is new users to their site. And we have the most active community in crypto. So, anyone that gets involved with us, they're onboarding such huge supporters of anything in crypto that it's a great opportunity for these centralized exchanges. So I believe that we will be listed on every exchange this year. I believe that Binance remain the biggest centralized exchange, and they will certainly list Tsuka this year.
And it will be similar to how SHIB did it back in the day. They look up and they're like, well, shit. Got all this volume, not in a bad way. They're like, well, we need to do this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, they're in the business of making money, right? And able to trade and make trading fees. They need to have the product that sells, and we have a product that sells.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other beautiful thing is with the math in place, you just need demand. Where we are right now with a fixed supply, as demand drives higher, what happens? You have a supply squeeze, price action rises. And from there, we're going to run out of tokens on a number of occasions in the future. And each time we run out of tokens, there's going to be parabolic moves. I mean, we're going to thrust harder than Elvis's hips. I mean, it's going to be sick.
Wow.
Wow. I like it. I like it. You know, one of the things that I like about community tokens, and I want your guys' thoughts on this, is the way I kind of think of it, it's kind of reverse engineered in a way, right? Because you have the traditional cryptos that like launch with utility, but it's still then they have to build the community, right? Like, so the other way is build the community first and then kind of let them drive the future utility. Can you guys speak to that? I mean, because that's kind of what SHIB did, right? I mean, they grew to this massive thing and then they were like, okay, now let's build Shiba Eternity. Now let's launch Shibarium. Now let's do a metaverse. Is that kind of the path that you guys are following in terms of letting the community kind of drive the future of Tsuka?
What's the thing? I mean, I would say that as long as because everything, again, I would say that anything that Shiba did is certainly prolific in all senses of the word, but we do want to make sure that we stay in line with the values that we're trying to cultivate here. You know, that's because we're here for a long time. We're trying to go very far. So all of the utility building will certainly come. I think it's really important to make sure that where it seems right now is that we're interested in maintaining what had caused Ryoshi to want to leave Shiba Inu to begin with, and really come and because all of this stuff, I mean, when you say stealth launched in the bear market, I mean, it has meaning, but people need to understand the type of individuals that were left looking for shelter at that point in the market. These are the people that have been bludgeoned by despair consistently for months, and they had no safe haven. So they found Tsuka. They're never leaving. We're never leaving. And it's really now just a matter of, we have that foundation built. We keep it solid. We make sure that, I mean, it could really realistically be the reserve currency of DeFi and just make a really sound, solid DeFi experience with other tokens pairing to it. It's got a lot of opportunity, and we don't need those things to happen for us to grow. And if they do happen, they're only going to accelerate the growth we see. So we're kind of in a really good spot.
I think Russ smashed it there, but you know, I would add one more thing. I'd just say that, you know, we're building on this solid platform, this solid substrate, you know, with Ryoshi's vision. But to answer your question, the community, it will be a very similar trajectory to SHIB. We're going to like have all of these amazing people with amazing ideas and people with connections and people with money that will resonate with people, and the community will decide, okay, let's do our own chain. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's fix DeFi, you know? So this is the exciting thing of what we're doing. What SHIB's doing right now, by the way, I think is amazing. Shibarium is going to be an incredible chain. And, you know, I think the way that you're taking on challenges and fixing up issues that we have right now with no front running and manual trading, and these are brilliant, brilliant things. So we do see ourselves in that realm where we will go with whatever the community wants us to fix or solve.
I love that you kind of mentioned that the communal fixing aspect. I think that there's a lot wrong with crypto today, you know, but I view it as an opportunity to change, right? I view it as an opportunity. Crypto is in its infancy, you know, it truly is. It's a baby basically just starting to walk, whatever metaphor you want to use. And so there's a lot of that. So anytime I can hear a project community team leader talk about the fact that they're A, aware of it, and B, we want to start addressing scenarios, I agree completely. I think that and here's the interesting thing. there are other projects out there, like one that Zach and I worked with before, have worked with, was Clear Cryptos, and they're addressing it on the business side, like enterprise crypto solutions, working with like big, big government, organizations, et cetera. But there's the other side of that coin. There's the community tokens. And honestly, I don't see any right now outside of what SHIB's doing with like, Shibarium, that are really looking at, hey, we're a massive community project. What's something that we can do that positively impacts crypto and makes it better? And I think SHIB's getting there with Shibarium and all those kind of things. But I love that that's something you guys address. So if you want to speak to that, please go for it.
It is really nice that you can come in just as an average person, join a community, and have such change happen. There are really, because people's energies are different sizes, you know what I mean? And you feel it in the Telegram. And what'll happen is every person who comes by and comes through, whether most of them stay, if not all of them, but they all change the flavor of what's there. You know what I mean? Everybody leaves their impression to some extent. And even all of us here, we just bought a token. We just bought a token. That's all we did was find a gem and covet it. That's all we've done. And in us trying to tell people what we found, we ended up here. So it's really about, the whole community is interested in giving back and caring about one another and building each other up. And really they do group meditations. I always jump in where people are, it's mental health related. All of us are the children of challenge. We have been born from this destruction that has been left from the market being hacked into a third. And these are the people that deserve to be at the forefront of this stuff, because they've earned it. You've earned it through the trials of time. Tsuka has taken the test of time and passed, and it can't be rugged. It can't be taken away. Your funds can't be diluted. It is the safe, fair launch token. It's exciting.
There's a few things that we've done as well that I don't think maybe we give ourselves enough credit for. We produce like a weekly newsletter, the Tsuka Journal, which is always great reading each week, and a really highly produced kind of document. We have a Telegram channel which hosts all of the previous journals, which is a great resource to go back and check on. We did a huge community giveaway where we gave away a mutant ape, a other deed, some Mizuki beans, lots of Tsuka. I can't remember how much. Was it maybe as much as like 300,000 or 500,000 Tsuka? Yeah, 300,000 Tsuka. This was really popular and something that's completely community funded, and we feel that we need to make a bigger noise out of this, because all of this stuff has been done really in the echo chamber that we've got of these 11,000 people. And we know there's such a wider community out there that we just want them to listen to our story. There's no real hard sell, because everyone has to buy the same way everyone else has bought. It's just it's a fair token, fair market.
But Tubba, what's interesting to that? The giving away of the mutant ape, which there was a cost basis in that. Somebody bought that, and somebody but here's my point: is that it's what's amazing to me is like well, yeah, there you go. I kind of figured that, but I was going to be like, yeah, it's probably Tubba, it's like,
I've got so many of these ape things. Fuck. Yeah.
Tubba, I want to be your friend, please.
No, he doesn't give them out. He doesn't give them out.
That's really, you guys need to be, and you are, but you need to be screaming that, right? That, hey, this is what we're in a productive way. But that's not something that happened around SHIB back in the day. You didn't have people like yourself and by the way, out there doxing. Let's talk about that, right? Shibini, we know, but we don't, right? And we don't know them publicly. But the fact that you guys are here and you're like, hey, we're community team members. We are just part of the community, and we A, have doxed, B, we're here and we're giving of our time, our monies, our efforts, and all that. That's something that I don't want to minimize. I think you guys, that's a huge thing. It's a big deal. I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this. You know?
Yeah, very kind. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, and we're, I think we're new to this. We're open to any ideas that we can to, to spread the word. We're keen to do as many of these AMAs as possible. Us three are willing to dox. I wouldn't say that the whole community are willing to dox, but everyone is willing to speak at least. But it's good. We want to get the word out there, but without being too pushy, without going down typically kind of aggressive marketing routes. It's for, we want people to learn about Tsuka, because once people have joined in, I speaking from experience, it's a very sticky investment. You're people are not going to leave the Sangha. People love what's going on, and it's a beautiful community. So once people are in, I think they'll appreciate everything that we're doing.
Seba, I want to address something that you just said, and we talked about it earlier, but when we were talking with you and some of the other team members about working together with Zach and I, and one thing you guys said, somebody said the word diamond hand, which I'm not a huge fan of that phrase per se, because, let's call it as we all we want to buy an asset, we want to make profit, but let's put that aside. One thing that I don't know who it was, maybe you said it, was that literally y'all feel or have seen that people who have bought Tsuka, the tokens, and are holding them, they literally view them as almost like an NFT, which was a really interesting corollary to me. I wrote it down, and you can tell I remembered it. I've slept and had a few glasses of wine since then. But I want you guys to talk about that, because that's something, again, that's unique. Actually, I'm a tequila drinker, so I apologize. But
okay. Yeah, I think it was probably Mr. Cruelhand that mentioned this, and he said that the two projects that did so well out of the last bull market were the Bored Ape Yacht Club and Shiba. And what the Bored Ape Yacht Club did, and as a member myself, it just created this community where people are not going to sell these things. They might trade a little bit of their stack, but once they're a member of the club, they're not leaving that club. It's worth a lot more to them than it is to someone else that's coming in. We have lots of different subgroups of within Tsuka, for different chats to organize things. Far too many to really keep a handle on, but there's a top holder one which we use to fund the Gate.io listing, and the people in there are joined at various stages. So, for example, I joined in August. Verlin, who's also in the group, he joined later than me, probably October, November. His average price is probably where it is now. So, I mean, that maybe takes up 6 to 7% of the tokens. We've got a lot of people in there that got in much earlier. I mean, we were discussing earlier in the week, how the origin story of everyone in that group, and some of these are phenomenal. I mean, Joe Grower's one. This is the ultimate diamond hand. He spent $3,400 at 100,000 market cap, and this crazy bastard hasn't sold a penny, and there's no chance he's going to be selling a penny anytime soon. This ultimate diamond hand.
Turn to the man.
So it's very difficult to prize those tokens off people that have been in for a long time, because I think that you become more and more loyal to Tsuka the longer you've been in it. So this supply squeeze is going to happen, very, very soon. There's just going to less sell pressure.
There's a big difference, between, probably the vast majority of crypto projects go out there, and the people that do the AMAs, they're shilling their own bags. They're selling into their own hype. We're out there. It's a big difference between holding a bag and continually adding, like we are, and educating rather than shill. It's a huge difference. It's like turning poison into medicine. The metaphor, the classic metaphor of the, you take from the depth of ugliness in soil, and out of that grows one of the most beautiful flowers in the world, the lotus flower. It takes, the more poisonous and horrible the water is at the bottom, it filters it and turns it into this beautiful flower. And that's where I see what we're trying to do. There's a real education. We want to clean up crypto. We want to change. We want to lead by example. We want to do things differently. The fact that we don't get paid, we're out here educating, is, it's actions speak way louder than words, and a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, we had that recent like decent price action as we went up to near our all-time high. So we went up to 150 million market cap, and we've kind of retracted back to around 100 million now. And if we look at like the like within the top holder group, most of the top holder group are not interested in selling at all. So it doesn't really matter too much what the market cap is. And I think, yeah, the magic hasn't happened yet. People are patient. Their patience will be rewarded. I have no doubt about that. And we have 11,000 holders. Let's get to 111,000 holders. Let's get to 1.1 million users. Then let's see what happens to the price. Then maybe Joe Grower. Let's see what his diamond hands are saying when we get there. But,
heavy as the bags. Yes.
So Tubba, let me ask you a question. When we get to like price action, let's just say we're dreaming right now, right? But $5, are you going to sell anything?
I will not sell a penny of Tsuka till we get to at least $3.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
There it is.
Sheep did a million X. All right. And it has, there's so much that we can take from that experience. And this bull run is going to be to some degree far larger than anything that's been seen. I cannot wait to see what Tsuka does, for us to have all these things laid out, all the boxes checked, everybody's bags are packed. There's not much to pack left. And that's one of the exciting bits of it all. So I'm really grateful to be here. I'm glad that we got to do this, and I'm excited, man. Really excited.
Guys,
I want to go back to something that Zach said. I'm sorry, Zach. But what Zach said, no bull run yet, and horrific. Yeah. I mean, the worst horrific time in crypto.
The worst.
Yeah. I mean, it was negative news, bad event after bad event, and I mean, I think Austin, that's one of the things you and I talked about kind of when we first met. Everybody that was involved with Tsuka, and we saw the comments and things, the positivity around it. The fact that it's grown to this level in this type of market, I think everybody wants to be a part of something that's positive, right? And like, obviously everybody wants to make money, and that's happened too, but it's, it's hard to find. It really is. Like, there are a lot of communities that set out to do good, but it's hard to get a large amount of people to kind of carry the same vision for a long period of time. It's difficult. And Jib's done that. And I think, that's the most difficult. I mean, if you guys want to speak to that, I mean, it's so positive, man. I mean, everybody that comments in, they feel like they're part of something, and you could feel that. I mean, honestly.
Well, we're small enough to where they all are. That's kind of the important part. Sheep's got over 1 million holders. We're at 11,000. It's just, there's so much opportunity to make an impact. And the only problem with all this stuff is the human element. So, I mean, us being able to have a cohesive group of people that are focused on accomplishing positive tasks, I want to be in that environment. And that's where all of us are. The only ones that are there are the ones that want to be there. And that's why the price action doesn't mean anything. It's just a fraction of what, if you take any chart with Shiba or Doge, when you go down and you look in the beginnings, the etchings of it all, they look the same. It's a small blip on the map that eventually makes this parabolic run. And, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting point that I think for most of us, the number of users is a much more important metric than the price action at the moment. That means that if we can when we get to 1 million users, everyone that holds Tsuka at the moment is in the first 1% of people to be exposed to Tsuka. Yeah. Everyone is so early. So, now we might be talking about, I might have got in a few weeks before Uncle Nut got in. In a few years' time, that's going to be, just semantics. It's not going to matter one jot. You're in the first 1% of people that are going to hold Tsuka. Yeah. And who knows, when we hit this bull run, maybe you'll be in the first 0.5% of holders of Tsuka, or first 0.1%. Everyone, we are so early.
Fantastic analogy. Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but that's a great analogy.
I've actually never thought of it that way either. It's an interesting, that's a very interesting scenario. So Teva, I've got your message there. We've had people asking how they buy. Let me re-show that real quickly. By the way, we did do this earlier, but if you basically it's how to buy. And if you can buy it on the centralized exchange, you can buy it obviously on the DeFi side. This is DeFi side. So this is basically some steps. So if you're watching this on the replay, you can pause and check this out. But, you know, basically MetaMask, send ETH, connect to Uniswap, swap your ETH for Tsuka. And there's your contract address. If you're not familiar with how to buy it on the decentralized side, then buy it over on Gate.io or, you know, or MEXC, you know, some of those guys, and more exchanges coming. I think it's interesting. So I love the parallels. I love what we talked about. And I just keep coming back to you guys and the time and the community aspect and the guiding, I want to say governance, but that wasn't the right word. The guiding kind of vision of where y'all are taking that. And I think it's going to be cool to see, Zach, kind of going to what you said, right? As you get bigger, as you get to 20,000, 40, 50,000 holders, and the litmus test, and you've already done it, the litmus test is to stay true to that vision, is to stay true to that. Okay, we got to keep guiding this ship, even though we've got a lot more voices in the proverbial room. And I feel like the team leadership is definitely set up to do that, because it is such a different thing. No dev wallet, no reflections, no, everybody, you buy your token just like Tubba and Nut and Russ did, etc. You know, that's cool.
So. Yeah. Look, I think the community aspect where you're creating connections, you're delivering positivity. You know, what we're doing is creating a space for human connections. You know, an energy exchange where people, are actually paying attention to each other. We don't shirk issues. We talk about mental health. We meditate. You know, it's got the power to deepen the moment, to inspire change, build trust. And frankly, I'd rather invest my hard-earned money into a private currency like Tsuka, where the community controls its own market, irrespective of the macro.
Yep.
By the way, Austin, Cruel Hand just said that.
I saw it. I saw it. I'm working on it. Hold on. Cruel's whispering in my ear on the backside here.
I want to make sure you saw that.
Okay. We love that man. That man.
Go Cruel. Go Cruel.
Congratulations, Cruel, to the birth of your child this week. And there was no disruption to his efforts on Tsuka either throughout the whole birth.
That poor guy was answering DMs when he was having his kid. God,
I know. He's messaging me. And he's messaging me. I'm like, dude, get
back in the labor room. Get back in the labor room.
Right. Don't worry. He's going to pass those genes down, and that kid's going to be doing the same thing for Tsuka.
A dragon was born. A dragon is born.
So this is via Cruel. He's literally sent a message in Telegram. He's like, hey, on the website right there, basically you can go and buy it there. So there's a link down in the description below to everybody who's watching this live or in the replay to do all things Tsuka. So to the website. And so it's this little icon right there. So you can go buy it there on the decentralized side. So guys, let's do this. I mean, we've been here for an hour plus final. So I guess what I'd like to do, if it's cool with you guys, A, unless there's some other things you want to cover, or B, just kind of go around. Russ, I can start with you, kind of a final thought and just kind of, final thoughts.
I think that I personally came into the community to rip all of this down, to be quite honest. I heard about the Ryoshi thing and I was like, all right. So my buddy was in it, and I pay homage to our Patty Stash, Patty Rambles. Couldn't be here today. He's not feeling well. But he was the one that got me into the token, and he said, oh, it's the Ryoshi token and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I came in to very easily disrupt what I thought was going to be easily dismantled. And now here I am doing the Tsuka thing, and I'm a member. So I think doing your research and looking through it, and really this is, if you want to feel comfortable about what you're doing, you need to understand it to some degree. And if Tsuka is a really good opportunity for you to crawl your way into learning how to understand this stuff, and you not having to worry about the rug being ripped and yanked out from under you while you're experiencing these expensive lessons. So this is why we're all here. And yeah, man, we found it in Tsuka. The Sangha will survive.
I love that you said that you came in to dismantle it. That's actually a really, I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. And Tubba, I want to go back to something that you said. You ran it through audits. You checked out the code. You hired, what did you say again? You say that again?
Yeah. So you hired two separate firms. So one to do a third party audit of the code to check that everything we believe to be true in the tokenomics is true, which means that the liquidity of the contract is completely renounced. It can't ever be changed. There's a fixed supply. Everything is completely legit about the token. And then a separate report into the legality of the token to see where it stood from an investment point of view. And again, passed all the tests that it's had. So third party corroboration that what we have here is the real deal. And I think we would all throw it out there to any potential Tsuka buyers that if you think there is something that we're being dishonest about, or there's something in the token that we're not aware of, I would love to hear it. You know, it would be, you know,
bring it on.
Bring it on. Even that website you pulled up, guys, we didn't make that. The developer made it. It was made by Ryoshi, and we found it in the blockchain. So
it was left for us. Yeah. Look, I think the other thing, just to sort of touch on the market cap, and it's a little bit like in the analogy that Tubba gave us with the wallets. Now, if you look at, Doge at its peak, 88 billion market cap. Look at SHIB, over 50 bill market cap. Mm-hmm. Where are we sitting right now? 100 million market cap. So once again, you're talking about the less than 1% argument here. And once we go and distribute those wallets more, once we get to 100,000, 500,000, a million, all these numbers are all going to start making sense because people have to buy their tokens off the market just like we did.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a wider screen, Crypto Nut.
Yes.
We will need a lot. There's a lot of people here. So we're getting some questions on still how to buy it. There's links in the description below. So go to their website. You can buy it off their website on Uniswap, or you can buy it on centralized on the side. So Nut, go ahead, Zach. Yeah.
Just one quick point. What I like is it's established because it's $100 million market cap, but it still has a lot of room to run. Like I kind of like finding those tokens and like those communities that are well established enough where they've been around, they've got this great thing going, but they still have a ton of upside. That's Tsuka to me.
Right? 9 months hard work has been done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Zach, you hit the nail on the head. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? I mean, when you're out there and you're looking for a community / meme, I hate meme, but again, I say it, project to get involved with, you're looking at that going, what's the first thing? Don't go invest in something that's like a week old or 10 minutes old. I mean, in theory, you shouldn't.
If you do, just know what you're doing. I mean, and don't put the whole,
manage your expectations. Yeah.
Right.
You are going to Vegas and placing a bet. I mean, let's just go and Vegas has got the best odds. But my point is this, is that, Zach, to your point, it's 9 months in the making. And there are people that would look at this and go, oh, it's $100 million market cap, 11,000 holders. I'm too early. I'm sorry, I'm too late. I'm too late. Oh man, I'm out. And I think that's one thing that I hope that people who have sat here and listened to you guys and watched what y'all had to say as the representatives, team leadership, if you will, of the project, is that no, that's not true. I think Tubba, you're right. 1%, if we get to, the bigger numbers, I think that's something you need to be aware of. Because I think then here's what I would say, and I'll open this up for thoughts. Most people, like our audiences, Zach's and my audiences, it's people that love Shiba Inu. They want that next thing. What is the next project? But they're always feeling like they're too late. I think that's kind of an overriding message that we hear over and over and over again. To me, too late is relative. It's not. You have a plan, all that kind of stuff. So if y'all want to speak to that, you can.
Yeah. I think I think the analysis of that is we are in a sweet spot. We're not in this very early stage where your project can go immediately wrong. We've done 9 months of hard work. We've got some very smart people working in the community. If there was something wrong with the token, someone would have found out now, and we wouldn't be here talking today. On the other side, we still have room to grow. There's definitely chance for a 50, 100x hit from here. So yeah, you might want to play smaller coins and try and get your million X, but you've got to be aware that 99% of them you're going to be left with nothing, within a week. So I think that's right. We're in that sweet spot now for experienced crypto traders to join Tsuka and benefit from a potential upside of 50 to 100x over the next 18 months.
How about this, guys? You're never too late when you haven't listed on Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin.
No major exchanges. Yeah.
There it is. I mean, you're early. You're early.
You're
not
early.
One catalyst, not one big catalyst.
So again, Cruel Hand is hitting me up on Telegram. Go spend time with your family, man. But with the baby. But and he's right though. He wanted me to really stress, which I was going to get there, Cruel. So thank you. But basically this dovetails into what we're talking about. Links in the description below to all things Tsuka. But go get involved. Like Russ, like you said, you came in to kind of quote tear it down. Meaning like you wanted to really, hey, what's wrong with this? And I think I would tell you, go get involved in Tsuka's socials, especially their Telegram, their Discord, and get involved and ask your hard questions and see how it's right for you. I definitely. So thanks, Cruel. Cruel's pinging me in Telegram,
Love that guy.
Yeah. So, you want to add anything to that? Russ, Nut, anything?
No, I just think Cruel Hand's training his kid to be like him. That's it. So he can take over his mantle in Tsuka.
Okay.
I love it.
That's awesome. All right. I think we did our kind of final round. So Zach, did you want to add anything to that since your final thoughts?
No, man, this has been fun. I want to see Tsuka in the top 100. I want to see the next top 100 crypto coming out of the community coin space. I want to see it be Tsuka.
I think it will be. I don't see any reason
you will.
It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
All signs point to yes.
Yes. What is it? The 8 ball? You're like, it is, the magic 8
says yes. Says Tsuka.
All right, that's great. We'll just leave that there. That's an end. Let's end on that note. So Teva, thank you truly for everything you do for the community. Nut,
thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Guys, it was awesome.
Cruel, go back and spend some time with your newborn boy, please. Go do the family thing. He's hit me on Telegram. So thank you for spending some time with us, either live or watching the replay. Again, here's what I would say. I love the things that these guys have said. I've challenged them, right? Russ, that's a fantastic takeaway. Challenge them, get involved in their socials, Telegram, Discord, etc. I think that's where you're going to find out, if it's right for you, and run it through your own due diligence. So we'll see you later. Have a good one. Take care, guys, and go make some money. See you.